Breakfast Daily, and it's still the news review segment on Breakfast Daily. We're having a conversation here. My guests are Jeffrey Kabutey Ocansey and Mensa Thompson. And Jeffrey was given a submission before we went on the break, and he will continue. Jeffrey.
Yes, I said, I'll quickly go on the IPAC issue. The NDC rejoining, I thought it was a good news for our democracy, and it's actually a good sign of success for the formation of the IPAC and the impact IPAC has on the whole electoral process. You know, these are the players. It's like meeting the sector players and getting their views on how things will be made better for them. You know, what affects them directly is what they actually spew to their members. They hold on to the voters, you know, and so they can appeal to them. If you thought with them on how things will go, they'll pass on to their... And all these issues of violence and other things, some of the issues that are not clear could be cleared from that angle. I thought it's also important to review the cost of the early walk away. You know, it shouldn't be just, once we've spoken. In Ghana, I've noticed one thing about us. Sometimes when we solve the problems, we don't go into deep sources and look at what really caused it to, you know, so you see some spots of violence in some part of the north, it keep recurring.
No, but Jeffrey, one of the challenges I've always had with Ghana and the way our psyche as a social, you know, people, our psyche is, if somebody apologizes, right, regardless of what punitive measures were initially instituted to be carried out if somebody falls foul, right, as soon as the person apologizes, all those punitive measures are thrown out of the window.
That's the problem.
It's almost like an apology is punitive enough.
No,
it's never.
No, it's not.
You know.
So we need only for the politician.
So we need to really, go down there.
No, but this thing comes from tradition. It comes from the chief's palace. They say, Nasawa Pachel.
Yes.
Do you understand that concept of the person has begged? Leave it and let it go. We've carried that into our national politics.
But I think if we do a good settling and then unearth to know. Like I always give examples of, I went to a bar.
And they will say, bring a goat, it's okay.
Yeah, pacify him.
Meanwhile, there's a punishment that has been described already.
No, but if you go to a bar with your friend, I like it and tell my friends every time, and he drinks 10 bottles of beer and slaps you. The next time, when he starts drinking about 3 bottles, you walk away.
Yeah.
You know, so...
Because the 10 will come.
Exactly. And the slap may follow. So sometimes we need to do it well. We know properly finalize the negotiations. We have to properly finalize it and ensure that we stay on the roadmap that we have brought to ourselves that guided us to where we are. Yeah. We also to ensure that fairness and participatory views are allowed and transparency. Sometimes the hidden notes that brings this argument, you go into it and maybe it's something you could have just ironed out if you had communicated. And then finally, look, our democracy will only succeed if we jealously protect it. And our systems put in place like IPAC are also very well protected. If we do this for ourselves, look, we have a beautiful democracy.
I think so.
I have also looked at other countries. Like my brother Mensa would say, we shouldn't look at the downplaying ones. But if you see somebody's own downplay, then you should rather jealously protect your own and give you the chance to move on. You know, that's when you go into a competition and then you see a team. There are some teams, if you don't have a good team, you are playing against them. They do justice to you. Yeah. They don't score 2-0 and 3-0 and then relax. They come, they play what the coach taught them. They can beat you 7-0. So, I mean, if we are doing well with our democracy, let's protect it well. The violence will always come. But I'll tell you what, if we expect more women to participate in elections, I mean our democratic processes, let's check the violence. And let's check the corruption. Let's check, how many women will use their capital, their business capital, and invest it to be able to buy votes? Just a few, or maybe none. And then the violence, when it starts, I mean, you are slowing down the energies of the women. I'm not saying women do not also get violent. Like, Honorable Yakubu, the unfortunate things that actually caused GJ to say, look, we are placing that blackout on you. I mean, it's unfortunate. But you can also speak with her, and you realize that maybe there were some other corners that maybe were pushing her to do some of these things. I always like to give people a fair hearing, because you will see their final action. I don't justify the final action, which is wrong. But I'm saying go down there again, dig for what happened. And look, if we do all these things, I'm looking at a beautiful democracy. Sipped from it is the violence, the corruption, and the unwanted pieces that we always want to kick out.
Okay, fantastic. Mr. Thompson, issue of NDC returning to IPAC, and then the MPs also that have lost their seats?
Well, I think it's a good thing.
The losing of the seats or the return to IPAC?
No, the return to IPAC is a good thing.
Okay.
Of course, both are good stuff. Both are good. But I think that the return to IPAC, for any serious political party who wants to win an election, will not joke with IPAC. But then again, there's a reason why they left IPAC. And I sincerely hope that those concerns have been addressed by the Electoral Commissioner.
Okay.
I was a member of IPAC in 2020 as an observer.
Okay.
And I saw how businesses were conducted at IPAC. And it was horrible. It seemed to be like the EC go, sit down, take their decision, come to IPAC, and come and announce it and endorse it at IPAC.
Which is not the purpose of IPAC. Yeah.
And I remember at IPAC where the concerns were raised, the EC chairperson, Madam Jean Mensah, told us at IPAC that IPAC is not mandated to, she's not mandated to take decisions at IPAC, and that IPAC is only advisory. Of course, we know that IPAC is advisory. But for convention's sake, since 1992, IPAC has been very instrumental in managing conflicts and concerns within the political parties. Because when issues happen, they are discussed at the IPAC. When the issue want to take decision, it first take it to the IPAC, get the views and concerns of the political parties, inculcate those concerns into the decision-making process. And so you realize that this announcement that they want to change the date to November 7th, they want to stop using the indelible ink.
These are not things that they've discussed.
If you have even brought the conversation up at IPAC, you won't even be talking this nonsense. It's pure nonsense to say you want to conduct elections without indelible ink. You understand? Especially,
what about the whole idea of modernizing our electioneering process?
See, modernization or technology must not replace our desire to have confidence in our democratic process.
True.
The security of the ballot,
I agree,
is more important than modernization. Your ability to conduct elections where after the elections, every party who even the one who lost, is satisfied with the outcome of the election, cannot replace modernization. And so, of course, you may have your plans to modernize, but it must be consistent with the quest to ensure the security of the ballot and confidence in the electoral process. You cannot sacrifice confidence and security for modernization. And so this whole indelible ink thing is pure nonsense. And I don't know where Jean Mensah is getting all these things from. Because if you have studied, you had an organization. It has an organizational history. If you've gone through the process, you understand that. What role does the indelible ink play? It plays a very vital role to eliminate double voting. Because when anybody goes back to the polling station to vote, the first thing they look at is your hands. And once they see that your hands has been inked already, already you're eliminated.
Yeah, but the idea is that the BVDs will do that.
No, please. There is no problem having another form of verification.
I agree with you.
We're in this country when in 2020, the EC brought another layer of collation, which is the regional collation centers, because they wanted to make the work easier. Please, and I'm not on same coin. We are not complaining. Are we complaining about the indelible ink on our fingers?
No, we are not.
Are Ghanaians complaining? Have we marched to the EC headquarters to tell that, the indelible ink is destroying our fingernails, so please stop using it?
And besides, it takes what? About a month or 2 months, it's gone.
That is the sacrifice we are prepared to make as citizens to ensure that our elections are free, fair, and peaceful. And if that is what we have to go through, we are prepared to go through. Please, drop that idea. Put it somewhere. Put it somewhere.